Boerne Radio's Town Hall is paid for by the Ricky Gleason campaign. This is Boerne Radio. And welcome to Boerne Radio's Town Hall meeting here. Baron Wiley here at the Richter Studio, broadcasting on Main Street in downtown Boerne. And I'm talking to a favorite son in Boerne here, and a man named Ricky Gleason. You're running for county judge.
Yes, sir.
And I say, welcome to Boerne Radio, my friend.
Welcome to Boerne Radio. Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
I'm glad to have you. Ricky, before we kind of get into what you're doing, why you're doing it, you're a guy who went to kindergarten here in Boerne, right?
Not quite kindergarten. We got here in the third grade. My grandparents have been here in Kendall County since 1983, which is the year I was born.
Yeah.
And so I've spent my summers here my whole life, but luckily enough to be able to move here from the Austin area in the third grade. And This is definitely home. This is the place that raised me.
Oh, yeah.
On the faith and values and conservative ways of this amazing place.
Yeah, amen.
Key to the Hills right here.
That's good. That's good. We're bringing back Key to the Hills, too, by the way.
Good.
Yeah.
I always thought that was the best slogan.
Yeah.
We are the key to the hills.
Well, you know what? I had, as we say on the radio station, the gateway to the hill country, because that was also a thing for Boerne. I was coming from Austin to Boerne, and got to, I guess, Dripping Springs, and their billboard says the gateway to the hill country. I'm like, hey, we're first.
They're always taking our stuff.
I know.
We do it better, and then they copy us. You know, it's flattery.
Yeah, we'll take that. We'll take that for sure. But then again, you went to Boerne High.
Yeah, graduated 02 from Boerne High.
Homecoming king?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I was honored by my class. It was actually a really big surprise to be homecoming king up there. I was very honored by it. It was such a cool experience and loved it.
Well,
I was just looking at those photos the other day.
Well, I know, because now that you're running for this office there, now all these photos come up, and I go, hey, that's Ricky.
That's me.
Good looking guy.
Yeah.
And how was your football game?
Yeah, I believe we won that homecoming game. I can't remember the exact score, but we definitely won that one.
What'd you play?
I played defensive end. I sometimes played a little tight end, a little bit of special teams, but my main gig was defensive end.
I always like to ask, any injuries there? Are you okay today?
Yeah, I went off and played a little football in college, a little powerlifting in college and in high school, and so definitely had some back issues, some shoulders, some elbow. My junior year, and a lot of people that have been around that long would know that I tore my ACL in the first play of the fourth quarter of our first game of the year there at the Alamo Stadium at the Rock Pile. And it was devastating. I remember crying in front of the whole town because I was just not pain, but just devastation of all the hard work we'd put in as a team.
Yeah. And
to get knocked out right there in the beginning was just heartbreaking.
Well, your life didn't end there, my friend.
No.
You've gone on
Felt
to
like it did for a minute.
I know, for a day. Yeah, that's our flesh there, and thinking we're going to be NFL stars. But, you've got another calling.
Yes, sir.
And so right now, this past year, you raised your hand and said, you know what? I think I'd like to run for judge. How'd that happen? Did you wake up in the middle of the night with a dream or what?
No, not at all. So it's interesting. I tell the story a lot, obviously. My wife will tell you, we've been married a little over 11 years, and for about a decade of that, I've been telling her, hey, I need to run for this. I need to run for that. And she's just not been on board with it.
Yeah.
If the boss lady ain't on board, I ain't
That's
on board.
right.
We're a team. So we row in the same direction as much as possible. I saw that there were some things that I didn't like the way that things were going. We've got a lot of issues running around, and I feel like we're not planning ahead. We're not moving forward in the right directions. And so, I'd say it was back in late February of last year that I went to my wife and said, we should pray on this. And then about probably late October, she had messaged me and said, hey, honey, I was praying this morning after the kiddos left, and I really feel God saying that he's calling you to this and that I need to be obedient and follow your lead. And I remember crying, sitting at coffee, thinking, oh, my God, my wife is an incredible woman.
Yeah.
The fact that she's sitting there and listening to the Lord first thing in the morning when the house is quiet and getting right with him, she's such an inspiration. But to step out and say, I'm going to be obedient, even though it may not be what she wanted.
Yes.
She knew it was the path that we were called to go down.
Wow.
So pretty incredible.
Yeah. God bless you for that, for sure. Congratulations on a beautiful family, too. Brag on your kids for a second.
Yeah. I got 3 kiddos. Landon, our oldest, he's going to be 11 here in February. So that's kind of scary.
Yeah.
And then Sophia, our middle, she's 9. She's wonderful. She's a little gymnastics star. And then, my beautiful, wonderful little 4-year-old who just keeps us on our toes and keeps us going all the time. She's the comedian of the family. I mean, I don't think she even means to be funny, but she's such a hoot and has an amazing imagination. And, to brag on Landon, the guy is one of the most mechanically inclined people I know. It takes after my dad a lot, who we lost about 5 years ago.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. And so it's really cool because honestly, he walks like him. He does everything.
Really?
My dad we'd always call it Jimmy rigging because he could fix anything.
Yes.
His name was Jim. And my son takes after him quite a bit.
That's awesome. What a great story. And again, to raise your family in Boerne, but you cared enough that you're just not like saying, hey, I want to run for judge. You've been active in the community for a long time. And when it comes to planning, you were part of the Planning and Zoning Commission, correct?
I was for a number of years. I was honored to be a part of that. So it's interesting. I went through Leadership Boerne to get reacquainted with the town that I grew up in, because you get busy and you're doing things. I'm like, how do I get better involved? So got to go through there, and our chamber throws such an amazing leadership course. It's incredible. I recommend anybody listening that if you get the opportunity, go for it. And so, we had the city day in there. And so I walked up to the mayor of that time who was there and said, hey, I'd like to help serve in some way. And he said, y'all need people. And so what should I do? And he said, oh, what's nice and easy? A good place to start, planning and zoning. And that turned out not to be a real easy, nice place to start, but it turned out to be an incredible place to start. I got to learn a lot about what was going on. And then, the other ways I try to serve our community, I currently sit on the Prop A committee here for the county.
Yes.
And for those of you that don't remember, that's for conservation easements and purchasing parkland. And we've had some great success. And I think everybody saw that Guadalupe River Ranch is under contract.
Yeah.
We're hoping that goes all the way through, which it looks like it will.
Big
It'll be an
news.
incredible park. And that's something the committee and the court has been working on for quite some time. So it's a very cool thing to get done. One of my good friends' family had that growing up, and so I've spent a lot of time on it. And so it would be really cool to see that protected and taken care of as a park.
So I'm getting the vibe here that you might be a little bit on the conservative side.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Like I said, I was raised here in Kendall County, obviously, by those conservative values that have shaped it and the incredible people of this county, which is probably our top asset.
Yeah. And of course, active there at the First Baptist Church. A lot of nonprofits that you've tied your horse up there too. 100 Club, Boys and Girls Club.
Yes, sir. Hope for Heroes. Sat on a few other little committees here back in the day. But I've always tried to figure out how can I serve this community that served me so well. And if I couldn't do it in an elected role like I wanted to, because the wife wasn't on board yet, then I got out there and tried to figure out how do I serve best to make sure the folks of Boerne current and Kendall County current have everything they need, but also what's the future look like? And how do we make sure that we keep our culture, that we keep what makes us unique, but also that we're mindful of everybody's property rights and trying to make sure that we're not in control, but we're actually working with people as their advocate, not their adversary.
Hey, you're listening to Boerne Radio, 103.9 FM. Baron Wiley here. We're chatting with Ricky Gleason. RickyGleason.com is the website. This is a man who's a Republican for Kendall County Judge, is the seat that we're going for. And again, let's start from the top. What are your top priorities once you assume the position?
Yeah, I think top priorities, it's really bringing that service heart back into this community. I think we've had it for a long time. I think we've lost sight of it. I think government in general, and I think I said this line a little bit earlier, but I'll say it again, has forgotten that they're supposed to be the advocate for its people, not the adversary. It's not about control. It's about collaboration and working together. And that starts with that CEO type role that the county judge is. A lot of folks don't realize that that's the executive branch of our county. And so everything comes from the top down, right? And so what are we doing to make sure that everybody has the same marching orders and the ability to understand what their goals are, what their vision is, what the values of our county is? And that's going to start with planning, right? We've got to get on the same page. We all have to know what's going on. We need long-term planning. We do budgeting, which is great. That's a form of planning. It's a part of planning. But we actually need to go in and plan out at least the next 5 years and then the next 10. We've got to take those steps to get it done. As a financial planner, I've watched those folks that actually sit down and do the planning versus those that aren't doing the planning, right? And really, there's this big difference because you're able to respond to those events that you weren't expecting rather than having to react and panic. No, I've got a plan. So now I know where I'm going. There's no panic. There's just response.
Good. I like how you just said that, again, your real gig is a financial planner.
Yes, sir.
And if you'll be in the business of planning for Boerne, you've got experience there on top of
all of Kendall County.
It's correct.
All
nice.
of Kendall County.
Very, very cool. Another hot topic, it's on everybody's mind in Kendall County. Well, I'll just tell you right now, it's the traffic and the water and, again, property rights.
Oh, yeah. You brought me right into it, man.
Yeah.
Those are top priorities, and those are solved with planning. A lot of those issues can be solved with getting a solid plan together. And so how we do that, right? We've got to sit down with the people that actually know. I mean, let's talk about our road crews, right? Those are the guys and gals that are driving around this county every day. They know where it's at. They know where the mobility issues hit, and they're the boots on the ground. They know what's happening. We've got to sit with those folks and figure out how we fix mobility. When it comes to water, we have so many amazing people in this county that I've known and new ones that I've met through this process that have incredible ideas that we need to bring together and figure out what's the best one to go. But I think first and foremost, it's about collaboration, right? And that's what we're talking about bringing in those great assets we have in people in this community that care already. But it's also about working with the counties around us. We don't need to be out on an island by ourselves. We need to be working together to figure out. Water doesn't care about county lines.
Right.
When it comes to emergency management, it doesn't care about county lines when it's running down the river, and it doesn't care about it under the ground either. So whatever we're all doing around the hill country is going to affect all of us.
Yes.
And so how do we all work together with these different county structures to create a better future for everybody? And securing water for our current residents, not for people coming in. We really need to start figuring out how do we secure that water. And I don't know the exact right answer, but I know there's one out there. And I know there's places.
Pray for rain is one.
Yes. Prayer is always first and foremost, right? So I'm with you on that 100%, Boerne, but we've got to pray but we've got to take action. So
Correct.
Let's discover the issue. We know what it is, right? Water is one of the biggest issues. And then we need to dive into that, right? So let's figure that out. And then how do we take action from there? So it's one thing to plan, but then we actually have to go out and take the action to that plan.
Hey, let's shine a light on our first responders. I know that the Sisterdale Volunteer Fire Department is celebrating their 50th anniversary. It's still a volunteer group. And there's a lot of concern, if a fire happens out in the middle of nowhere, it takes a while to get there, So speak to your love for our first responders and how we can support them.
Well, Boerne, I was just having breakfast with our Boerne crew that's on shift day was on this morning. They were nice enough to let me bring them some tacos and hang out and chat with them for a while. And, incredible guys and gals over there. And we were chatting through a lot of different things, but we do have an issue. I mean, we have people losing their insurance on their home because they don't have professional fires nearby. I think a lot of people don't understand that, our volunteer fire departments are extremely good at what they do.
Yes, sir.
They're great people. They do great jobs. They need more support. That's for sure. I think our county has been doing a lot of good in that arena, trying to shore up their budgeting and help them in more ways than that. But we're going to have a larger picture conversation around what that looks like. Our response times aren't quite there. Our Boerne Fire Department covers about 250 miles worth of the county as well. They're contracted by the county to do that. So it's not like they're just doing it for fun. The county took the ability to go out and get that done. But it does bring response times down to some areas getting 30-minute response times or more because it's just that far away.
Right.
And so we do definitely have an issue there. But we have all the right people that are out there working every day really hard. And the volunteers, I talk with a lot of these guys. I've talked with all the chiefs for the volunteer groups, and I don't know how they do it. I mean, I'm just blown away by them because they're working full-time jobs. They're raising families. They're hanging. Some of them they're trying to have time with their grandchildren. I mean, we've got retirees that jump in and get EMT certified because they care enough. And that's what's so cool about volunteer firefighters is that it's neighbors helping neighbors. That's how it came about, right? And so how do we collaborate better with them to make sure that they're getting everything they need, whether it's having the right things on their truck to handle medical issues that are going on, those life-saving things, to helping them figure out how to have better response times.
Hey, again, we're talking with Ricky Gleason, running for Kendall County Judge, and one of the priorities at rickygleason.com is promote local businesses and values. Thank you for supporting our businesses here in Boerne. Speaking as one.
Yes, absolutely. 100%. I think, and I don't think this, I know this, small business is the lifeblood of this country.
Correct.
And so more favorable things towards that is always a good thing. We have to encourage our local small business growth. Otherwise, we're just going to get overrun by big business. And I don't think that's a bad thing, but it's a bad thing when that's all you have. And so we really have to look into how are we more small business friendly in this community. Because it is the lifeblood.
Another priority on your list there too has to do with property taxes. And so it's no secret that in Texas, boy, that's where they get us. But you say, we got to stay here instead of taxing ourselves out.
Yeah, we do. And our court has reduced property taxes twice. I'm very proud of them for doing that. But was it there's a difference between a tax cut and tax relief, right? Like we've got property values going up at the same time. So yes, it is a relief. It is a cut. And I think they're doing a great job making sure that we're not overtaxing our citizens. But it comes down to, we still need to be able to do infrastructure and things like that. So the idea, we just talked about small business, right? So small businesses, I don't think a lot of us realize, but when you develop a home, right, you're going to get new tax value on that small land, which is good. But when we're talking about commercial, that's massive tax revenue move up, right?
Like this Bucky's thing?
Well, the Bucky's thing, that's an interesting conversation. I mean, the positive there is obviously tax revenue. The negative is it's going to change the area quite a bit. And, that was more of a city matter because that's their negotiation piece, and they feel that they did everything to the best of their abilities, love or hate it. Property rights, it's a tough one. I mean, we don't have the same level of authority that a city does to force things like zoning and all that into it. With the Bucky's issue, Boerne, like I said, it is a big issue. And I'm not going to play what if scenarios. I'm not on city council. I didn't get to ask the questions that I probably would have asked around a lot of different things. And I do think that the city does a good job of running all the traps it can. And they fought it pretty hard, but it was definitely a city matter. But to focus in on making sure that we are doing what's right for the culture and character of our community, I think is important. Now, we don't have a plan. So how do we even know where those things might end up? Have we done studies to figure out where HEB might be buying land or other groups like that? Because that's going to tell us. Or working with our school district to understand that, hey, when a school goes in, like out in Bergheim, hey, we're probably going to get a lot of commercial development around that. Correct. Because there's a lot more need for it now because you have a major school sitting right there. It changes the whole culture of that area. And so if we can work better collaborating with all of our local entities, then we can really do a better job of planning out how the future of this county will really look. Because we're going to need more schools, but we need to be working with the school district to make sure that we understand where they're going and how we can work together instead of being adversarial with each other.
While you're based right here in Boerne, Ricky Gleason, I know that that's Comfort and that's Sister Dale and Candelia. What are you hearing from those folks who aren't in Boerne?
I mean, that's the other cool thing about Kendall County, right, is that we have unique little culture pockets throughout. Comfort's one way, Wearing Welfare has their own things going on. Candelia, Alma Springs, Sister Dale, Bergheim. Yeah. We've got lots of different little things going on, and it's changing. And change is always hard. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's always hard. But what I'm hearing a lot around, from different areas, there's road issues like out in Alma Springs where the roads are just not in great shape. They're not wide enough. They're just not up to standards. Yeah. When you're out in Comfort where there's water structure issues, they're going through the conversation of what it looks like to incorporate and how does the county help with that. Flooding is a huge issue there, and it always has been. My whole life it's been. Comfort's always, when it floods, they get hit. You have one of the only places in the county, if not the only place I can think of that has houses up on stilts, right?
Yep, that's right.
So that tells you something. So what are we doing to make sure we can mitigate some of that flooding? Not just, respond to events, but how do we help to maybe calm those events down? There's been plenty of studies done on the runoff, right, from stormwater runoff. And there are plans in place to have different dams across different areas that can help with some of the flood control. And so what are we doing to fund those, right? We have an opportunity to get funding for that right now, I believe.
And that's what a county judge does.
Yeah. We've got to coordinate. Yeah.
Excellent.
And bring all those folks in. Comfort's got a plan and we can help them.
Hey, again, we're talking with Ricky Gleason, running for Kendall County Judge here in Kendall County. Early voting starting soon enough.
Well, we got early voting starting on February 17th, and then election or primary day, right, is March 3rd. And I'll encourage everybody that if you don't vote in the primary, you've lost all your choices by the time you get to the general election.
RickyGleason.com is the website there, and there's a chance for you to get involved. What do you need the most help with, Ricky Gleason?
Oh, we need volunteers for all sorts of stuff. Mostly I want your prayers and your support. For myself, but mostly for my family. If you want to pray for my family. They have been rock stars through this, and I've been all over the place, and they've been holding down the fort. And so big shout out to my beautiful wife, Shannon, for always handling that. She's incredible. And as far as the volunteer side of things, obviously we need folks to help us with block walking, to get the word out.
What's that like?
Yeah, man, I'm having fun doing it. Oh, man. I was a little nervous about it at first, but, every door I knock on, everybody is so wonderful. We have such an incredible county. I've been here in Boerne doing it out in Comfort over the weekend, knocking on doors and getting to walk down the street. Comfort's such a neighborly place, right? And so you get to walk in and people are like, hey, and then get stop and chat for a while. It's a lot of fun. Out in Sisterdale, I mean, Fair Oaks area, I mean, everybody's been very kind and very receptive. I've not had doors slammed in my face like people said I might. It's just people want to talk and hear what you have to say and be listened to.
Yeah.
And that's what we all want, right?
Exactly.
And so we've spent a lot of time sitting on couches and chatting with folks.
Well, have fun, but go get it. And would you take a second and invite our listeners to vote for Ricky Gleason this year?
Yeah. Everybody get out there February 17th. March 3rd is primary day, and vote for Ricky Gleason for Kendall County Judge.
Anybody else you want to thank? Anyone else you want to honor? Oh, man,
there are so many people I have to thank for all this. There's probably not enough time. I've got a wonderful team of people that are there on the campaign team helping out. I don't know how many of them want me to shout their names out on here, but they've been incredible. And Maddie is just wonderful. She's a young lady that's just been rocking it. And I'm so proud of her. She went to a conference and was asked to be a part of J.D. Vance's campaign team for president.
Wow.
So El Presidente.
Oh, that's
J.D.
very,
Vance
very cool.
would be a very cool thing. So she's going to get to go to D.C. next year and start working on a presidential campaign. So I'm like, hey, I'll finally know somebody important.
Well, it takes one to know one, Ricky Gleason. That's for sure. Well, good. Again, God bless you. We will pray for you, and we'll see you on Election Day.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
RickyGleason.com, again, is the website to lend your support, to donate, or again, say a big prayer for the Gleason family as you answer this calling. Thanks again, sir. And thank you for listening to Boerne Radio 103.9 FM.